Dear friends, please stand by for the address by Chairperson IRDA. It will start in a minute. Friends, Chairperson IRDA will be addressing us through the webcast on the occasion of Bima Lokpal Day.
नमस्कार। आज बीमा लोकपाल दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में आयोजित समारोह में उपस्थित सभी साथियों का मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन, स्वागत और बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहूँगा। Greetings to one and all on the eve of the Bima Lokpal Divas. It gives me actually immense pleasure to address all of you today. This day actually offers us an opportunity to reflect on the huge responsibility that has been bestowed on all of us. And that is the responsibility of securing fair and equitable treatment to all our policyholders. A sector which is a very integral one, and insurance is a major part of our financial system. It supports the economy. So therefore, we cannot ignore the importance of what we do. If you look at our society, you find that still a large number of people don't believe in litigation and they don't go to the courts for redressal of their grievances. And in this context, the role of the ombudsman system, the role of all the stakeholders becomes all the more important, and the magnitude of our responsibilities also grows manifold. It's not only our responsibility for the sector, but also in particular our responsibility towards the policyholders. You may all be aware that the insurance sector is currently at an inflection point, and India is one of the fastest growing insurance markets in the world. And if you look at the total volumes of premiums, we are currently the 10th largest market in the world, and with an estimated market share of about 2%, and the second largest of all the emerging markets. As per the forecast, India will be the sixth largest insurance market in the world by 2032 and will be ahead of Germany, Canada, Italy, and South Korea. You all would realize that we are at an opportune time where there is a strong economic growth, rising levels of disposable income, we have a young population, increased risk awareness, digital penetration, and a host of regulatory developments that are evolving at this point of time. So this is the time where we need to increase our pace and firm up our resolve to provide insurance to each and every citizen and businesses of this country. There is a huge market, and that is untapped. A large section of the people which is missing the financial support which insurance can actually fill in. The current protection gap is estimated to be about 80%, and around 30% of the eligible population, which we commonly know as the missing middle, if I can say, are deprived of the health insurance cover. 50% of the vehicles are uninsured, houses are not fully covered, cattle are not insured. So what could be the possible reasons? It is time to really ponder. Now, as we march towards achieving our vision for India, that is at 100, that is 2047, we want our society to be fully insured. Insurance for all by 2047. And what do we mean by that? By that, here, the protection gap should be completely bridged. Adequate insurance in all forms, life, personal accident, health, property, income, all of this should get covered. The requirement, I mean, the adequate requirement should be covered. So, how can we do this? Opportunities are huge. Why are we not able to tap them? That is the question. Today, India is digital, pioneering in digital inclusion with over 65 crore people having an access to internet. And as you may be aware, 8,840 crore digital transactions and the volume of about 3,200 lakh crore took place alone in the year 2021-22. In such a scenario, how can we leverage the technology platform in insurance space, in say claim settlement process or grievance redressal mechanism? I mean, these are the questions or the challenges we need to look into. Now, as part of our regulatory reform activities, we are revamping the sandbox regulations to provide more room for innovation and experimentation. India is soon emerging as a technology hub, a place for the ecosystem for startups has become a very robust one. So a lot of technology related solutions are being offered and are being provided for financial services. So there is a need for us to also provide a platform which can, test and mainstream parametric insurance product, innovative add-ons, and a host of new features and products can be lined up, giving wider choice to the policyholders in order to buy insurance of their taste, choice, and requirement. Can we also imagine giving packaged coverage for rural residents with parametric triggers? Can we consider increasing distribution efficiencies? Can we imagine a completely digital insurance landscape? These are questions we need to ask ourselves, and get the answers also from all the stakeholders and build a system which actually takes care of these issues. In addition, what has been done by the regulator is also to enable the insurance companies to file, to use and then file the new insurance products, both in general, health, and a majority of life insurance products. What does this mean? In other words, the insurance companies are no longer required to take a prior approval of the regulator to launch a new product in the market. So what does it do? It actually helps promote innovation, allows the industry to introduce products in response to the sector's evolving needs. It also provides wider choice to the customers. There is more competition, so better pricing. So all of this actually would result in ultimate benefit of a better product, a more innovative product, and a better price product available to the customers. As part of the ease of doing business, a number of circulars which were thought to be not of great use have been repealed, and about 70 plus returns have been rationalized. A slew of prior approvals have been dispensed with. In distribution, we are looking or heading towards making it more open, thereby providing more channels to be selling, cutting across different companies, providing greater choice to the customers. As the market has adequately matured, it is time for the board of the insurers also to have sufficient operational and financial autonomy. We are also working on those directions. All of these reforms are aimed at the 3 A's of insurance. Now, what are these 3 A's? Awareness, accessibility, and affordability. It is the need of the hour to reinforce trust of the policyholders. We have to actually collaborate and work together in order to achieve these 3 A's. However, none of our collective efforts will be fruitful if the policyholders do not receive their genuine claims on time or their grievances are not properly attended to. The protection of policyholders' interest is of paramount significance and is the end of all our efforts. It's very important to realize that protection of policyholders is not limited to just the existence of an efficient grievance redressal mechanism. Though you may consider that as the primary catalyst, the protection of policyholders' interests start right from the sale of the policy till the feedback received after the settlement of the claims. Thus, not only just the Bima Lokpal or the regulator is accountable for securing just and fair treatment to the policyholder, it is the collective responsibility of each and every stakeholder of this ecosystem. The first and foremost responsibility is on the insurers, as the policyholder will approach the insurance companies in the first instance in case they have a complaint. That requires a robust internal grievance system in the insurance companies. I would like to request the insurers, or rather ask them, at what frequency the efficiency of grievance mechanism is monitored and necessary changes are made. Are there any analysis being done on the grievances? If so, what is the observation and outcome? Are the agency and the field force continuously educated and trained to suggest the right product mix to avoid mis-selling? Is the approach adopted while handling complaints equitable? Are teams handling grievances adequately sensitized, especially while handling the grievances of the vulnerable sections of the society and complaints of the senior citizens and also the low income groups? There are certain fundamentals that we need to work in order to ensure strong systems which would eventually lead towards a zero grievance environment. The second in line are the intermediaries. The intermediaries are the foot soldiers of the sector, and they are the ones who come in direct contact with the policyholders. They are the ones on whom the goodwill of the sector is largely dependent. It is very important that the intermediaries soliciting insurance business do proper need analysis of the customers, and also they should be in a position to suggest the right products and assist the policyholders in servicing their policies, and also, more importantly, in settlement of the claims. They must be properly trained to be empathetic and provide equitable treatment to all. For the regulator also, the primary goal is consumer protection. The regulations must be constantly reviewed in their relevance as far as the present context is concerned. There should be a sunset clause to ensure dynamism. As I talk in this August forum today, I would like to mention that IRDAI is constantly working towards this end. We have a regulation review committee which is reviewing all the existing regulations and would be ready with its report by the end of this year. Now, this is a comprehensive review of the regulations to bring about a more secure platform for the framing the regulations in order to provide ease of doing business, in order to also provide a common understanding amongst all the stakeholders as to what the regulations intend to do. We are also building a technology-based platform, or rather we are facilitating to build a technology-based platform called the Bima Sugam, which will be a one-stop shop for purchasing or selling by the insurance companies, for servicing, and for settlement of insurance claims. This platform is going to make transacting insurance very transparent and very simple for the policyholders, insurers, and the intermediaries. Let me point out that the Bima Sugam platform will be a shop where an agent or any other intermediary can do the transaction in an assisted mode. And in fact, this will provide the agents and the intermediaries more and more customers, and therefore more and more people can join the force of insurance agents and intermediaries, and thereby this will be a platform which will be actually facilitating creation of more employment with more and more agents enrolling and also enhancing their income by way of whatever remuneration they get from the insurance companies. This platform is going to also make insurance easily accessible and available, and give a comparative insight and analysis of the various kind of products and the features thereby, and giving a better choice for the customers to buy the product of their requirement. A lot of real-time insights and analysis will be generated, which will help us also in framing of policies. We are also in the process of trying to introduce a new form of intermediary, which would be a localized women-centric force called the Bima Vahak to deepen insurance penetration. The Bima Vahak is based on the foundation of familiarity amongst the locals, increased trustworthiness, and accessibility. All the reforms actually are based upon wide consultative and participative process. Not to mention, IRDAI has also started to hold open house every month and Bima Manthan with the industry to ensure open communication. However, even while the stakeholders are focused on protection of the interest of the policyholders, there is a need for a strengthened and a dedicated machinery such as the Bima Lokpal for better consumer protection, which is far more accessible, approachable, and it enables faster resolution. The policyholders actually repose a lot of trust while coming to this institution for redressal of their grievances. This institution is aimed to provide a resolution based on justice and equity, which increases the trust in insurance products and the industry as a whole. This increased trust also assists insurers in increasing penetration, since confident customers are more inclined to utilize a broader range of products. The Ombudsman also support the regulator by dealing with individual policyholders' concerns. As a result, the regulator's limited resources may be directed towards more of prudential and systemic issues. Not only that, Ombudsman may assist identify new and developing concern, and we would expect them to maintain a steady flow of information which can act as a dynamic input for policymaking at the regulatory level. The system of ombudsman benefits the state and the economy by helping to safeguard the citizens by providing independent individual remedy at a very low cost. Citizens will be more confident in contributing to the development of a healthy financial services sector, become more financially self-sufficient and less reliant on the state. This not only helps in raising investment in economic development, but also improves the country's worldwide reputation and competitiveness. Hence, it is very important that this institution is strong, robust, and is based on the principles of independence, impartiality, accessibility, fairness, transparency, and accountability. Now, I'd like to share some data for the financial year 21-22. About 45,000 complaints were received, of which 40,000 were resolved. The Ombudsman held a total of 2,481 meetings, during which 18,000 cases were resolved. This equates to about 7.5 cases every session on average. 69% of the cases were resolved in less than 3 months, 15% in 3 months to a year, and 15% in more than a year. Even during the pandemic situation, the offices of the Insurance Ombudsman have strived hard to resolve the complaints through virtual hearings. Online registration of complaints have also been introduced since the February of 2021, whereby the complainant can register his complaint anytime from anywhere and doesn't have to visit the office of the Ombudsman. I commend all of you for handling the complaints in a timely and efficient manner. This contributes to consumer confidence and trust and would foster long-term financial stability, growth, efficiency, and innovation in the sector. But we should not be limiting ourselves with just providing resolution for the complaints. Rather, proper analysis of the grievances will give insights into the trends and provide early warning signals. While I was looking at the data on complaints handled by the Ombudsman in financial year 21-22, I observed that a staggering 67% of the complaints emanated from health insurance. Now it's time to ponder, what is the reason? What are the kinds of complaints that are coming from the health sector? Are there any particular geography that these complaints belong to? Are there any particular product or specific exclusions giving rise to maximum number of complaints? Have we done any analysis? How can we reduce the complaints? In how many cases has a legitimate claim been refused and the insurer fully recognized his fault? In such circumstances, what steps can be taken to provide a deterrent? It was further observed that out of 40,000 complaints handled by the Ombudsman, 22,000 were non-entertainable, and roughly 15,000 of those 22,000 were situations where the insured did not seek the insurer first. although the procedure requires that the policyholder to first contact the insurer, can we design a system in which the policyholders are guided through the procedure and technicalities rather than just classifying the complaints as non-entertainable? There were other cases also where complaints were deemed unentertainable due to the lack of a certain document. To ensure all that the concerns are effectively addressed, precise guidance to the policyholders are required. The reach and the role of the Bima Lokpal will only fructify when policyholders are adequately aware about this channel. Comprehensive knowledge of the procedure for any dissatisfied policyholder to seek the ombudsman must be available in an easy, understandable, and accessible format. Have we conducted any surveys to determine the degree of knowledge amongst the policyholders regarding the availability of this mechanism? Do policyholders realize that contacting the ombudsman is free of charge? Are they aware that the ombudsman decision is binding on the insurance companies? These questions coming to my mind are very basic, but awareness about the same, I would reckon, will be a game changer in the complaints resolution landscape. At IRDAI also, we have recently established a specialist department called Policyholders Protection and Grievance Redressal Department, which is led by one of our executive directors. The Integrated Grievance Management System, the IGMS, has been redesigned into a more efficient, technologically advanced, and a faster portal, and it will be renamed as Bima Bharosa Portal. We want people to believe and have the trust in this portal. And therefore, your role, our role, and the role of all the stakeholders becomes even more important. The call center is also being expanded to manage a high volume of complaints and to provide faster communication and grievance registration. You are aware that technology, how a sea change has brought about a sea change in the financial landscape. Technology can be deployed more extensively in insurance ombudsman system for faster disposal of customer grievances. And this can be done by holding virtual hearings, paperless submission, and thereby lowering the cost, reducing times, improving outcomes, reference to past decisions that can help auto-adjudicate simple claims, statistical analysis for predicting trends and patterns that can give insights into insurers and customer behavior, etc. Can we also think of holding Bima Adalat on the lines of the Lok Adalat on, say, every Saturday of the month to quickly dispose of the complaints? I would like to request all of you to frequently interact with IRDAI, and such interactions will help in exchange of a lot of insights that ultimately will help the insurance industry. I think the time has come to reimagine insurance as a very dependable financial instrument, and this is possible only when there are effective claim payouts and timely redressal of grievances, if any. The renewed policy and regulatory focus on the protection of policyholders, that would entirely result from the perceived complexity of insurance products and the rapid technological change, all coming at a time when access to insurance and the level of financial literacy is not at the desired levels. Misaligned incentives can increase the risk that policyholders face in terms of fraud, abuse, and misconduct. In particular, low-income and less experienced policyholders often face challenges in the marketplace. We are moving towards an open architecture and distribution to maximize the reach, also providing flexibility to the industry to equitably determine the commission structures so as to ensure that mis-sellings and misconducts are curbed. And technology will further enable or help in trying to remove these kind of malpractices, as you may like to see them in that fashion. As a means of strengthening the grievance redressal system, it will be a good idea to also have an internal ombudsman system by the insurers. The insurers may brainstorm and adopt the system voluntarily, as it can be an effective tool for grievance management. It gives the management a fresh pair of eyes to look into the claim. The customer point is examined again, and an impartial decision should be taken. It's another means to deliver clean, simple, and an effective resolution. Protection of policyholders should be reinforced and integrated with other financial inclusion and financial education policies. In order to realize our vision for insurance for all by 2047, it's very important to ensure fair treatment to the policyholders, proper disclosures of facts, responsible business conduct by insurers and intermediaries, objective and adequate advice to the policyholders, protection of assets and data, including from fraud and abuse, competitive frameworks, adequate complaints handling, and redressal mechanisms. The role of the ombudsman becomes paramount to build the trust on which this framework is built on. By quick, fast, and accurate awards, the insurance ombudsman can bring the trust of the policyholders in the insurance system and insurance as a product and create a positive impression about the industry as a whole in the country. It will bring true value of insurance and also serve the societal needs of becoming a safety net. I think the time has come when we have all got to collectively resolve to protect the policyholders by marketing right products, providing best advice, ensuring proper servicing, timely settlement of claims, and efficient complaint resolution. We are in this together, and we have to join hands and walk forward in achieving the objective of insurance for all by 2047. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Namaskar.